There is a specific memory I want you to find, not a happy one necessarily, not a painful one either. Just the moment, the exact moment when you first saw that one person and something in you went very quiet and very certain simultaneously. You know the moment I mean. It happened before they spoke, before you knew their name, before any of the information that would later matter had been exchanged. Something shifted in the room or in you, and you knew with a clarity that had no rational source that this person was going to matter, that they already mattered, that they had been mattering somehow before this moment. You told yourself it was attraction, chemistry, the particular way the light was hitting them, or the particular mood you were in that day. But that explanation never fully satisfied, did it? Because what you felt was not new. It was familiar. And familiarity, when it arrives wearing a stranger's face, is one of the most disorienting experiences a human being can have. What if that feeling had a name, a real name? Not a romantic one, an ancient one. A name that the oldest teachers on the planet used to describe exactly what you experienced in that moment. What if what you felt was not the beginning of something? What if it was the continuation of something that had been running far longer than either of you knew? Stay with me for the next 20 minutes. Because what we are going to uncover is not comfortable, but it is the only framework I have encountered that actually explains why some loves feel like they were already in progress when you arrived. Why some connections carry a weight that has nothing to do with how long you have known each other. And why the ones that cost the most, the ones that left marks that nothing fully erases, may have been the most necessary appointments your soul ever kept. There is something the ancient teachers said about love that almost nobody repeats because it is too uncomfortable to sit with. Not every love that finds you comes to fulfill you. Some loves come to finish something. Paramahansa Yogananda wrote about this with a precision that feels less like spiritual philosophy and more like a diagnosis. He described what he called karmic bonds, connections between souls that carry unresolved energy from previous lifetimes, and he made a distinction that most people are not ready to hear. He said that the intensity of a romantic attraction is almost never about the present moment. It is almost always proportional to the age and weight of the karmic thread connecting those two souls. The more lifetimes two souls have traveled together, the more unresolved business between them, the stronger the pull when they meet again. This is why some attractions make no logical sense. Why the person who is completely wrong for you on paper feels more right than anyone who ticks every box. Why your body knows something your mind refuses to accept. Why walking away, even when you know you should, feels less like a choice and more like trying to swim against a current that has been running for centuries. That current is the karmic thread pulling taut, and the pull, that specific, irrational, bone-deep pull, is not your weakness. It is not poor judgment. It is not a pattern you developed in childhood, though childhood may have shaped the particular way you respond to it. It is recognition. Your soul recognizing the soul it has unfinished work with. Your entire being orienting toward the lesson it came here to complete. Without your permission, without your understanding. With a certainty that exists at a level deeper than thought. You have felt this. The person whose face is in your mind right now, the one who appeared when I said, that one in your mind right now, the one who appeared when I said, that one person at the beginning of this video, that face appeared without effort, without searching, immediately. That is not coincidence. That is a thread still attached. Now here is where it gets harder and more important. Because the karmic view of love does not let you stay in the story of destiny the way most people want to. It does not say this person was your soulmate and therefore it was supposed to work. It says something far more precise than that and far less romantic. It says, this person carried a lesson your soul contracted to learn. The intensity you felt was the energy of that contract activating, and the degree to which the relationship hurt the specific texture of that hurt, the particular places it pressed, was proportional to the depth of what needed to be learned. The love was real. The connection was real. The ancient bond between your souls was real, and it was never primarily about happiness. I want to tell you about a woman named Sarah. She grew up in Portland, Oregon, careful with people, the kind of person who observed before she opened, who needed to understand something before she could trust it. She had seen enough to know that intensity was not the same as safety, and she had built her life accordingly. Until 31. She met him at a conference. She will tell you now, years later, that she knew within the first 10 minutes of conversation that her life was about to divide into before and after, not because he was exceptional by any external measure, because something in the room changed when he spoke directly to her. Something went quiet and certain in the way she had never felt before. 6 months later, she was more herself than she had ever been. A year later, she was less herself than she had known was possible. The relationship moved in that direction with a gradual precision that she could only see in me no eye. Retrospect each month taking something from her she had not noticed she was giving until it was already gone. She left twice before it held. And the second time she left for good, she sat with a question that would not leave her alone for the following 2 years. Why him? Of all the people she had met in her careful, deliberate life, why had that specific person been the one to dismantle every protection she had built? Why had that specific pull been the one strong enough to override everything she knew about herself? The therapist she saw after said it was attachment patterns, her childhood, the particular way she had learned to associate intensity with love. All of that was true, and none of it was sufficient, because it explained the mechanism but not the precision. It explained why she was vulnerable to that kind of connection in general, but not why that specific person, with that specific combination of qualities, had been the one to find every undefended place with such surgical accuracy. 3 years after leaving, Sarah read something, a single line from Yogananda that a friend sent her without context. The line said, "The soul does not seek comfort, the soul seeks completion." She sat with that line for a long time, and she began to ask a different question. Not why did he do this to me? Not even why did I let him? But what did I complete in that relationship that I had been carrying unfinished before I met him? She did not arrive at the answer quickly. It came in pieces over months. But what she eventually understood, not intellectually, in her body was that the specific wound the relationship had opened was not new. It was old, older than her. The wound of believing that love required her to disappear. That to be loved, she had to become what the person loving her needed her to be. That her own presence, her actual, full, unedited presence was too much. She had carried that belief in without knowing she was carrying it. And she had needed a relationship of exactly that intensity with a person of exactly that specific configuration of needs to press on it hard enough that it could no longer be ignored. The relationship had not created the wound, it had surfaced it, and once it was surfaced, once Sarah could see it clearly, in the specific light that only that specific relationship had been able to generate, she could begin, for the first time, to work with it directly. She is not grateful for what happened to her. She is clear about that. But she is no longer asking why it happened. She knows why it happened. And that knowing, that specific, embodied, no longer theoretical knowing, has changed the way she moves through every relationship that has come since. Not because she became more careful, because she became more present, because she stopped managing the distance between herself and the people she loved and started actually showing up. Because the thing she had always been most afraid of, being fully seen and found to be too much, had already happened, and she had survived it. And she was on the other side of it, and she had survived it. And she was on the other side of it more herself than she had been before. That is what karmic completion looks like in a love story. Not a happy ending in the conventional sense. A truer one, a more permanent one. The kind that does not depend on the other person at all. Now, the metaphor I want to leave you with. Think of a musical instrument that has gone slightly out of tune. Not dramatically, just enough that something is wrong, that there is a discord in the sound that anyone who listens carefully can hear, even if they cannot name it. The instrument does not know it is out of tune. It cannot hear itself the way others hear it. It simply produces what it produces, and the discord continues. Now think of what it takes to tune the instrument. It requires another sound, a precise tone, held steady, long enough for the instrument to hear the difference. Long enough for the string to recognize the distance between where it is and where it needs to be. The tuning tone does not play music with the instrument. It does not harmonize with it. It holds its note precisely until the instrument can adjust. Some karmic relationships are tuning tones. They do not come to harmonize with you. They come to show you the discord, to hold a note you can measure yourself against, to be precisely, specifically, the frequency that reveals the gap between who you are and who your soul is trying to become. The tuning tone does not stay once the instrument is adjusted. It does not need to. Its work is complete the moment the string is in the right place. You are the instrument. The relationship was the tone. And the discord, it revealed the specific, personal, intimate discord that only that relationship could have surfaced that was not a flaw in your design. That was the gap your soul came here to close. It is closer now, whether you know it or not, whether you feel it or not. The string is a little more true than it was before they found you. Here is what I want you to do tonight. Not a journaling exercise, not a meditation, something more specific. Bring to mind the relationship, the one whose pull you still feel in some form, even if you have not spoken in years, even if you never want to speak again, and ask it not them, the relationship itself, one question. What do I know now because of you that I could not have learned any other way? Sit with that, give it room. The answer that comes first will probably be about them, what they did, what they took. Let that answer pass. Wait for the one underneath it, the one that is about you. About what you discovered in yourself, what capacity, what truth, what undefended place that only this specific pressure could have revealed. That answer is the lesson. And the lesson is yours now. It belongs to you completely. They cannot take it back. They do not even know they gave it to you. The pull you felt toward them was real. The connection was real. The ancient weight of it was real. And it was always from the very first moment in that room when something went quiet and certain in you, pointed at something inside you that needed to be found. You have been found now. The debt between your souls is a little more settled than it was before this video began. And there is one more piece of this that we have not touched, because karmic love does not arrive just once. It arrives in patterns. The same lesson wearing different faces until it is fully learned. And recognizing that pattern, seeing it clearly, naming it precisely is the exact thing that breaks it. Why you keep falling for the same soul in different bodies. What the pattern is actually teaching you. And what it looks like in your actual daily life when it finally stops. That is where we go next.